So we're going to start with sap green and cadmium yellow light to put the upper part of the reeds right there. They're in a really bright, nice bright green. So just a couple. We're not going to put too many. Just follow some of the reflections. Choose one of them and put the reeds up, upper part. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow and put one next to this one.
Sap green and yellow light?
Cadmium yellow light, sorry. It's sap green, cadmium yellow light. We're going to need yellow ochre as well in a minute. Sheesh. I'm going to take a bit of yellow ochre. Yellow ochre will change the color of the green and it will make it a little bit more earthy. I'll still mix it with a bit of yellow and put some yellow ochre in here. And you'll see immediately it becomes different, more subdued, more olive, earthy. I'm going to take more of the yellow ochre that has a bit of a bit of sap green in it. And I'm going to come here and introduce a couple. Now, even here, when we have this kind of plant or these lines, they will have to be reflected in the water. So I'm going to take the same thing. I'm just going to take color just the way it is. And I'm just going to do this. Same with the green. Trying to connect them with what I have already at the bottom. In terms of reflection. So I'm going to take this one here, go up. Same at the bottom, just kind of more wiggly. I'm going to put a couple more in the yellow ochre on this side, yellow ochre and a bit of green in it. On this side. Okay, let's put this camera, push this. So you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's do this. This is the reflection. All right, that's good. We're going to go back to green and yellow. Okay. All right, that's good. So I'm mixing sap green, cadmium yellow light, some black in there to tone down, to darken my green a bit. And I'm just going to put a bit in here to get some movement in the water. You can't see it that well, and this is the idea. You don't want to see it too much. Don't want to see too much of it. Just kind of when you look at you're looking at your green in the water green in here, and you find that it's just dark green and nothing else. It needs a bit of movement. Then mix sap green, cadmium yellow light, and some black, because you want to keep it toned down, but you want to see some movement. And just kind of add that movement in the back. Just kind of water reflects a lot of things. You don't want to lose the depth, so don't go too much. Don't highlight too much, because that dark green gives you depth. But at the same time, you want to see something happening in that green, in that reflection. All right, so we're starting with the duck, and I am going to use black, ivory black, or any black you have, with some phthalo blue, because the base of the canvas is not dark, it's light. So I'm going to need this black mixed with phthalo blue, otherwise phthalo blue is not going to be enough. I'm going to need another layer. I'm going to take a little bit more black, put it in here. My black is mixed with some phthalo blue anyway, but the phthalo blue is, the black in right now is more than phthalo blue.
Almost looks indigo.
You could use indigo too,
No, it looks like indigo. I'm just thinking,
because it's mixed with black.
yeah.
Now I'm getting to this part where there's some green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take cadmium yellow light, mix it, and let's see if it works. Mix it with the phthalo blue. That will require, I think, a bit of white, maybe, eventually. second layer is better. You know, it's easier. It covers better, you know, much better. Second layer.
Is that cadmium yellow light there?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we need a bit of white. Okay. Ah, yep. Let's put some, I know I'm putting white and then I'm putting a bit of black in it, but that makes it a little bit more like on the gray side. Let's see. So instead of putting white in the phthalo blue and yellow, I'm just putting a tiny bit of white and a bit of black too. Tiny bit, because it's otherwise it's going to be too light. And I'm just highlighting this part. And I'm going to highlight over here. And now I'm going to wash my brush, blue, phthalo blue. White, touch of black. That will tone down the phthalo blue a bit. Phthalo blue is very turquoisey. And this is acrylic, so it will dry darker. Now, let's see. The eyes. Wow, it's going to be a challenge. Black. Let's start with black. Get a thin round brush. I'm going to take white, put it in my black, kind of a dark gray. And I'm going to highlight, try to highlight upper part of the eye. Oh, no. Right, a little bit more white. Let's see. The lower part of the eye, I see, because it's there's the feather color. You know, it's like I see there's like a light blue in here.
Mhm.
Right at the bottom.
Yeah. Hmm.
Let's go back and adjust the color a bit. Okay. Even that that dot is not white. It's more on the green side, like a light green in the eye. Okay, that's better. Much better. Okay. Just darken a tiny bit this part here with a bit of black right here. All right. I changed the shape of the head. Poor thing. All right. Let's see if I can fix this. This is not round. This goes in this way. So I need to get the color of the water, put some white in it, which is, I think, cerulean and a tiny bit of, let's put some green in it. Let's see. Let's see if we can get the shape right. Yeah, that's better. That's the right shape of the head. And okay. Right. Now, that's just black. I'm going to stop for a minute so we can catch up on this, and then I'll go back. Right, for the beak, I'm using ultramarine violet with cadmium yellow light to get the first layer going. So you get some, some um, uh, shadows in there, darker, kind of yellow. And then what I'm going to do is going to take yellow and white. And this white is going to make my yellow. My brush has a little bit of that ultramarine violet. And this, okay, hold on, sorry. Just 1 minute. I need to get the right. Because if you look at the beak, it's not yellow. It is yellow, but it's more like
Pale. Yeah.
a pastel yellow, I should say. So I'm going to take, again, the ultramarine violet and yellow. And the reason I'm using ultramarine violet is just because it's opposite yellow on the color wheel. So it will tone down my yellow. It will gray it and tone it down. And then I'm going to take white, put it in here, in that yellow, and see if I get the right color. It's still kind of green. No? Okay. Change of plan. Cadmium yellow light is lemony. It's a cool kind of yellow. So sometimes it has that hint of green in it. So let's take cadmium yellow medium. It's warmer. Put white in it. Tiny bit of ultramarine violet. Very small amount. Let's see. Oh, we're getting there. Much better. It's like a banana color. I think that's a good color. So it's too light. I'm going to tone it down. I'm going to tone it down with ultramarine violet. It's too white and too yellow. I'm not worried about right now. I just want to get the shape going, and then I'll go back to adjusting the lights and darks. I'm not using cadmium yellow light. I'm using cadmium yellow medium now. I find that cadmium yellow medium is much better. And I'm softening the shadows in here. Because, acrylic dries darker, so you have to keep on adjusting the shadows. All right. Need to darken the bottom part a little bit more. So I'm going to keep adding ultramarine violet to my cadmium yellow medium until I got a dark color that I can add here, a dark value. And now I'm going to change my brush, smaller one. Go back to my yellow, cadmium yellow light with white and a touch of ultramarine violet that I was using before for the highlight, and make a wider kind of, okay, I'm gonna wipe my brush a bit, take some more dark and put a little bit of detail here. Wow, that's dark, too dark. This is a bit of black. I'm going to bring them down here. And there's a little bit of detail right here in black on his beak. Interesting. Okay. Something is not right. I think there's a curve right here, a slight curve. I'm gonna clean up this. I will mix the color of the water again, the background. See if I can get that curve back. Stick some white. Cerulean blue, a bit of sap green, and try to fix the shape of the beak from the outside. So I would go in, curve it that way. And there is a round kind of movement in here. I will try to do that. See if I can get it. So it's curved at the top, and at the bottom, it's a bit wider, touch wider. I mean, same with birds. If you do you put one little brush stroke that is not the right brush stroke, the whole shape of the bird will change. So you have to keep on adjusting. I think that's a bit darker in there. I'm just mixing back the color of the beak. It's cadmium yellow medium, ultramarine violet, and white. And I'm just going to try to widen that beak a bit at the bottom here. Now, because it's dry, I'm going to go back, add white, more white, and highlight part of the beak here to get that pastel kind of yellow. Looks like a banana. Okay. All right. The thing with acrylics is just keep drying darker, and you have to keep going back and adjust the color. This needs to be highlighted a bit where the dark is. It's a little bit too dark right now because it dried darker. So I'm gonna kind of soften this dark. That's better. I'll let it dry and see if it needs more or darkening more, like with ultramarine violet. Yeah, good. All right. All right, we have time to put the white part right here. Before I do this, again, where the eye is, it's I need to put a bit more light color in here because it really is drying. All of these colors are drying darker. So, and upper right here. That's better. Okay, it will dry darker again. So now for the for this part, the white part, it is white, but I'm going to take a bit of ultramarine violet and put it in, at least for the first layer. So ultramarine violet and white. Otherwise, if I put white over right away, there's nothing. It's just flat. So I'm just going to take a bit of white and ultramarine violet and just go across like that. You can't see it. It looks white, but it does have a bit of ultramarine violet in it, and it's not straight. It has a bit of ups and downs, kind of. And now I can take a bit of more white on my brush and just go over. Okay. So no need to cover it all in white. It is darker here on this side and lighter here. If you look at the reference, you will see that this part, take a bit of ultramarine violet and put it in here. Actually, you know, even a very small amount, touch of black, if I can find my black. Yeah. A hint of black in here. Black with white, gray. And again, it will dry darker, so I will have to go back and adjust. So delicate in the picture. Okay, good. Right, that's good. Okay, so for this week, this is what we managed to do. Next week, we'll continue with the rest of the duck.